Good evening, and thank you for joining the monthly meeting of the Board of Directors of the Australian Shepherd Club. Tonight is January 16th, and attending the meeting is Kala Jaco, our Executive Secretary, Jerry Scheit, First Vice, Donna Sims, Second Vice, Diana Williams, Treasurer, Tanya Johnson, Secretary, and the directors are Jan Wiesen, David Clayton, Ann McCabe, Jillian Ward, and myself, Susan Byrne, the president. And thank you guys for being here. The item on our agenda that we're ready to address is the December 2024 Treasurer's Report, and that will be handled by our treasurer, Diana Williams.
Good evening, everyone. Earlier this evening, I sent to you our monthly cash flow at a glance so that you wouldn't have to make notes if I was speaking too fast. But in our Chase checking account, the balance is $117,508. And for purposes of recording, I'm just moving them up or down, as we don't need all these cents just for the general meeting. The wire account is $100. We've been using that account for any commissions earned from affinity marketing programs. They go into the wire account and then get transferred over to the checking account. So it's easier for the business office then to track those funds coming in. In the savings account, there's $49,457 in Chase and $101,909 in our offsite account, in the Vanguard account. And for the AEMD, we have $18,217, and our Vanguard AEMD account, we have $20,264. In the foundation account, we have $72,972, and over in Vanguard, we have $2,232. We have in our 25 Nationals account a balance of $1,700. They have started writing their first check out of there. And then we have, so those funds all total available cash funds for ASCA right now is $384,359. As you all know, we're going to be printing the Aussie Times. So we'll have to look at those costs in January. We will have costs for publishing, mailing, and printing in January that will come out of the January's budget. And then we don't usually report about it, but I did do some investigation on the 2024 account, Nationals account. We did receive the facility invoice. So that beautiful facility that we used sent us a balance due invoice of $80,867.64. It's my understanding that the 24 Nationals Committee did write the check for that a couple of weeks ago. It has not cleared our account yet. And that's all. Any questions on the monthly cash availability? I do have, as you notice, the way I sent out the monthly cash at a glance, it shows you the Chase accounts and the corresponding Vanguard accounts. The Vanguard account achieves 4.35% in interest. So there's no reason to leave money sitting around in Chase, gaining nothing, gaining pennies here and there, versus putting them in Vanguard. So we need to start transferring these monies in Vanguard. And then if we need it back into savings or need it back in AEMD, then we just pull it back. It's an automatic thing. It's not, you don't wait for anything. You're not wiring the money. It's just a account to account transfer. And then I did have some questions. You saw this month, let me switch my screen real quick. You saw this month's December's income expense and the bottom line, and I will have Heidi post this on the account when we, tomorrow or the next day. I'll have her post it up there. There are some changes and some corrections I'm going to make. I have a couple questions to talk to Sarah, to talk to the office manager about, but one of it is she bought some paper for printing the certificates. And she had an extra amount of office supplies this month, and I questioned what it was. She spent $700 on special paper to print the title certificates. I'm gonna transfer that money over into printing and production. There was a company doing this before, and that's where all those expenses went to when you coded them. And she just coded it under office expense. I think it's more appropriately coded under printing and production because that's what it's for, used 100%. She doesn't use that paper, she said, for anything else. We do have some other expenses coming up this month. Again, we talked about it in one of my reports last month where we have property taxes due, a little over $4,000. That's going to be due by the end of the month. It's $4,630. That will be due by the end of January. We also have QuickBooks subscription renewal. We did pay that in December, so that made December a little askew by the amount of $1,237. And then we are going to have another cost of $1,200 for some additional work, yearly work with our website. We're going to have that as well. Any questions? Anyone have any questions?
Thank you for all the information.
I had a couple questions. Sorry, I couldn't find my mute button. On the cash, which of those is the account that has 2024?
I don't have 2024 on there. Oh, yes, it's at the bottom. So if you look at the bottom, I wrote 2024 amount at the bottom just to show you what the current balance is. And then I wrote a note with the facility coming out of there. So the facility fee is going to be $80,867. I do estimate, after speaking with the 24 Nationals chair, she has about $2,500 worth of probably checks that's going to be clearing that she's already written or needs to write a few more. So there will be about $83,000, I apologize, coming out of that Nationals balance.
Okay, thank you. The other item is I still see Nationals income and some expenses in our general operating, which making it challenging to see where the losses are with Nationals being kind of on a different timeline, dealing with all these outsiding. Are we working towards getting those separate so we can see operating and Nationals?
He is supposed to be working on that. I did go into QuickBooks myself today to look and see where he is on that. He has 365 transactions to code into Nationals, which are sitting there not coded.
But we're going to always see them as one document. We can't see it as Nationals. And then the other would be Nationals operating expenses for ASCA.
I'm not sure how it's going to show. We have a separate Nationals account, and he is creating a transaction list for Nationals separate from ASCA's operating so that we can see it as a separate document. I'm sure we will be able to show that in our P&L as a separate line item, but the breakdown will be separate.
Okay, as long as we're working towards that, I'm good.
He had other than his wife's medical conditions, he had a total computer failure and breakdown, I understand, because I had been emailing about, I like to get the reports a little bit earlier than the morning of.
Yep.
And so he got them to me as quick as he could. He said he apologized to everyone, but that's where we stand with that. So okay. I guess I need to make a motion to approve our financial reports as written.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I'd like to double back that and include the November. I sent the November by email because that one was also late. I did already put that up on the ASCA website, though.
Yes, ma'am.
Being approved, but you can see it now in the total worksheet I sent you.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to approve the treasurer's report as submitted. Do I have a second?
This is Tanya. I'll second.
Thank you, Tanya. Okay, All in favor of approving the treasurer's report as submitted for November and December? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions?
And that would be me.
Thank you very much. Okay, motion carries. All those reports are approved. Thank you so much. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a request from the office manager. And I definitely applaud her and this office staff for looking forward. This year, ironically, Christmas Day falls on a Thursday. Our normal closures for December for vacation days are Christmas Eve and Christmas Day for the office staff. The request that has come forward would be for the office to be also closed on the day after Christmas, which is a Friday, December 26th. They are not requesting any offset, trade out days, but that all of the staff would have paid time off to utilize on that day. And that way they, instead of rushing back to the office, if anyone has family plans out of town or anything of that nature, that they would be allowed basically 3 business days off to be closed, but they would be utilizing their paid time off on that Friday. They're not asking for any concessions from us other than that we allow them to utilize paid time off in the office to be closed on Friday, December 26th, the day after Christmas. Jerry, I see that you're unmuted. Would
Yeah.
you like to go ahead?
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve that the ASCA business office be closed on December 26th, 2025. This is not a paid holiday, but staff will use their PTO.
Thank you. Is
This
there a
is Donna.
second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Donna. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor from Jerry and a second from Donna. Is there any further discussion on this topic? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Motion carries. I'm actually going to stop into the office tomorrow, so I will share this news that we have approved this use of their paid time off for that day, and they can plan accordingly for the remainder of the year. Thank you all. The next item on the agenda is the system liaisons report, and that would be Jillian.
Okay, so the IT committee we have not yet met in January. We meet every other Wednesday. I'm sorry, Monday, and this past Monday, we were unable to get a big enough group, so we did not meet. So my update is going to be from the last time that we met. So just bear in mind that obviously this is a fluid situation. People are working constantly, but this is the most recent update. So these are some of the things that are have been completed since the last meeting. The membership ID and portal account linking. I guess there was an issue with the username lookup. The Otch points, being able to look up people's dogs by ID. The production support for judges' data, affiliates, dog registration, merit lists, rally finals. The judges list is now available on the ASCA website, and there's some searching capabilities. So when you are now looking to hire judges, you can start sorting them by demographic, which is nice because the hard copy PDF was a little rigid in trying to search. Let's see. In addition, I don't know if I noted it last month, but we are in the process of drafting the final contract for the second part-time programmer. This programmer lives in the United States, unlike our our existing programmer who lives outside the states. However, both programmers are they were very much involved in the establishment of the existing programs. So we're very, very fortunate to have sourced both of these people out, and we will get her on board hopefully very soon. Her charter will be to work on new programs. So, i.e., scent detection would be likely, I am not speaking for the committee in this case, that will likely be her first assignment, and it will be a large one because it seems as though it is a very well supported program. Let's see. New priorities, individual dog registration, releasing puppies to new owners for individual registration, adding photos to the dog profiles, and I think that's about it. There are some things that are in a backlog. I know, as I said, this is a very fluid committee, so they need to be very agile in that they're constantly having to pull things off of their queue, reprioritize things that are more important. The office needs are obviously something that they address first. So if there's anything that I've not mentioned yet that you would like to have an update as to where it is on the queue, please shoot me a text or an email. I'm speaking to the board specifically, and I can get you an update. But other than what I just gave you, I don't personally know anything else that's in the queue.
Great. Thank you so much, Jillian. Okay, and the next item and last item on the agenda for this evening's meeting is the ratification of last month's email business. And I would just need a motion from one of the directors to ratify that email business.
This is Donna. I will move to ratify the last month email business.
Thank you, Donna.
This is Ann. I'll second.
Thank you, Ann. Okay, I have a motion from Donna and a second from Ann to ratify the previous month's email business. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, thank you all for listening. That concludes this month's meeting of your board of directors. Everybody, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your contributions to ASCA. And everybody, please stay safe and warm. Here in Texas, we are going to have a very cold front. So I'm hoping that none of the rest of you are going to be negatively impacted from the weather that is forecast next week. So everybody, please stay safe. And at that point, I will say good night. Thank you all.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.